I also want to acknowledge former Representative Aaron Regunberg, who's here as well. Our next speaker is here to tell us about reproductive justice. Some of us are familiar with this term, but few know exactly what it means. Here to share more about this is Tiara Meth, an activist and educator and board member of the Women's Health and Education Fund. Tiara? Reproductive justice was founded by Black and POC folk because there is no choice without access, and there is no access without resources. There is no resources until we respect and consider the full, unsiloed lives of people and the multitude of identities they hold. Passing the Reproductive Health Care Act will preserve our right to safe, legal abortion, but it is just the first step toward reproductive justice. Reproductive justice is not just about choice. Choice upholds the narrative that equality is justice. Equality doesn't account for the significant barriers presented to communities that have historically been marginalized. Equality doesn't consider the violence on Black and brown bodies, communities, and livelihoods. Not physical violence, but systematic violences spread across generations, woven into policies and practices and narratives that permeate down to reality where choice isn't afforded to folks with skin and backgrounds like mine. Reproductive justice is not just about giving access to abortion and birth control. It is important for full spectrum health, but that's not the only issue faced by Black and brown folks when determining their reproductive lives. Before we can truly understand what reproductive justice is, it is important to share what we mean when we say justice. Reproductive justice encompasses the knowledge that when or if you decide to parent, you will not die in childbirth when your doctors overwhelmingly don't believe you when you say something is wrong. Justice is knowing that you won't be 3 to 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than your white counterparts, no matter how many degrees you have or how much money you make.
Come on now.
Justice is the knowledge that that your children will grow up to have clean water, clean air, clean soil. Justice is access to fresh and affordable produce in your neighborhoods. It's high-quality public schools that meet and exceed the outcomes for students in wealthy school districts, that provides a future where college is not just a dream, but a welcomed reality, where schools are not pipelines to prisons that litter the systems with our Black and brown children. It is a future where predatory loans don't dictate, or GoFundMes don't dictate when we can and cannot afford life's essentials. Justice is about any and every job paying a respectable and livable wage of $15 an hour or more with paid time off and parental leave. Justice is knowing that an abortion is a fundamental right and not a politician's tool. Justice is operating outside of systems meant to further shackle us and maintain the white supremacist system where power is valued over love, empathy, and respect. Reproductive justice is knowing that our Black boys won't be shot in streets while they hold toys, candies, or wear a hoodie. Reproductive justice is knowing that when you stand up and shout "Me Too," your story is heard, valid, and believed. Reproductive justice is not just preserving the right to safe legal abortion, it's the first step. Reproductive justice is not just about Black and brown bodies or low-income folks, it's about all of us, living our best lives, our most full lives. Too often we think the work is done when asking for Black and brown folks to arrive at a table and speak about their existence. We can't just imagine a just world that looks just like this one, where everyone is equal. We must instead radically reimagine this world, this work, this mission, to work above, beyond, and outside of access, but within opportunity and justice and equity, to realize a world where full spectrum of marginalized experiences are uplifted, addressed, and radically changed, because we are not free until Black and brown folks are free. We know who is hurt most when abortion is pushed out of reach. Marginalized communities cannot afford to wait until the right to abortion is taken away. It's time to pass the Reproductive Health Care Act. It starts with reproductive freedom, and it ends with reproductive justice.
Thank you, Tiara, for reminding us that reproductive health care is not just an issue that impacts women or the health system, but impacts our everyday life. And it's important that every person, whether you're black, white, regardless of your socioeconomic status, regardless of your ethnicity, that you have access to affordable health care and you have access to make decisions about your own body. Thank you so much for reminding us of that. And also reminding us that we still have a lot of work to do to achieve reproductive justice.